Before I begin, I would ask you to please stand and join me in observing a minute of silence to honor those massacred by Hamas terrorists last weekend. Please rise. There are several community and spiritual leaders, representatives of foreign governments, and other dignitaries with us today. But although not protocol, instead of recognizing every individual, I hope I may address everyone together. Chaverim, friends, my name is David Cohen. I'm the chairman of the South African Zionist Federation Cape Council. And I stand before you today still in a state of shock. While the sadness remains, the enormity of last week's genocide, and I use that word specifically, has yet to sink in completely. I try and remain hopeful that the lives of those men, women, and children murdered in their homes, bomb shelters, and at parties, celebrating love and life will have meaning. But I'm not so sure. Although not a godly man on most days, apologies, rabbis, I genuinely pray that somewhere in the depths of those cold hearts, holding the hostages, babies as young as a few months old, and grannies well into their 70s and 80s, that they think about their children and the terrible agony that they have caused by their actions. Although the stories are too numerous to recount, I can only share and identify with Yoni Ashel, whose wife Dawn and two little girls, 3-year-old Aviv and 5-year-old Raz, are missing and believed to be hostages in Gaza. Yoni's simple words are all you need to understand his pain. I can't sleep. I'm living outside of my own body. Or Noah Al-Gamani, you have all seen her photo as she cries in desperation, hands stretched toward her boyfriend as she is led away on the back of a motorcycle. No translation is needed. You can read the fear and terror in her face and divine her one request, still unanswered: help. Although this speech was not intended to be an English lesson, I felt it necessary to review Oxford's definition of genocide, as it seems that many in the government do not know it themselves. It reads, the deliberate killing of a large number of people from a particular nation or ethnic group with the aim of destroying that nation or group. When Hamas terrorists breached the security fence around Gaza, and instead of going straight for the IDF army bases nearby, which might have been bad enough, they rampaged through towns, villages, and kibbutzim, murdering Jews, beheading babies, whose only crime was being Jewish. This eerily harks back to another time, 80 or so years ago, when Jews were also dragged from their homes, rounded up, and ultimately murdered. Let us make no bones about what we have witnessed and the unfortunate task at hand. Hamas and its supporters have no interest in compromise, have no interest in peace, have no interest in improving the lives of the people that they govern. They have one interest and one interest only: to remove Israel and Jews from the map. So when you hear, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, take it seriously. It's not a catchy rhyme. It is a goal. While many of the governments of various democratic countries, not this one unfortunately, have shown their overwhelming support for Israel in the past few days, I only request that they steel their resolve and understand that while there have been, and almost assuredly will be, more casualties on the Palestinian side, the difference, and it is beyond doubt, proportionality or moral equivalence, is that Israel will never deliberately kill Palestinians just because they are Palestinian. It is against the moral and legal code of the army and the state. The fact is that we all know this already. Even the protesters around the world know, although they refuse to recognize it. If Israel was the moral equivalent of Hamas, there would be no Palestinians in Gaza. Full stop. Unlike Hamas, whose open aim since its founding in 1988 is to destroy Israel. So why? Why is Israel asked to keep allowing its citizens to die in the name of moral equivalence and proportionality? It is because we are not them. And when I say we, I mean Jews, Muslims, Christians, Druze, and the other inhabitants of Israel. We hold ourselves to a higher moral code, not because the governments of the world ask us to, because we expect it from ourselves. We will never allow our humanity to be compromised. We must all speak out. Jew, Christian, Muslim, we must not remain silent. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends." We have been hurt, and we need your help. We thank our non-Jewish friends here and around the world for sharing in our pain and sorrow and for not staying silent. While we must ignore Isaiah's admonishment to beat our swords into plowshares for the moment and make time for war, we, who support Israel's right to exist in peace and prosperity with its neighbors, including those Palestinians who also yearn for peace, will continue to show our support here and around the world. It has been my privilege to be the chairman of the South African Zionist Federation Cape Council for only a few months. Can I tell you what plans we had? To show our community and our fellow South Africans Israel in ways that they did not know. Bringing together winemakers from the Jerusalem Hills with those esteemed estates of the Franschhoek and Stellenbosch valleys, collaborating on technology incubation so that the Silicon Cape and the Silicon Wadi could meet and work together. And despite our government's position, we are steadfast in the knowledge that South Africans are not anti-Israel by nature, and hope in the coming weeks, through petitions and letter-writing campaigns, to show this government how out of step with the people they are. So as we take time to grieve, we will not stop, and we will not be silent. We will continue to support Israel and pray for peace. There is a station just over there where you can write a message of support to IDF soldiers. You will also see QR codes which you can use with SnapScan. All donations today will go to the Jewish Agency's Victim of Terror Fund. I urge you to show your support in any and every way you can. Am Yisrael Chai. Thank you.